Hello, this is Kevin Benedict, Mobility Analyst and SMAC Analyst, visiting here in New Zealand this week, and I have the pleasure of spending time with Manik Saha, who's Head of Global IT Process Office at SAP. That's a big name, Manik.
It is, and it's a lot to do in the process office.
You and I were just sitting here talking about enterprise mobility and how things have changed when it comes to development and design processes. Can you tell me just your thoughts in there? What kinds of changes have you seen in the approach to developing mobile apps over the last few years?
Well, I think one of the biggest changes that mobility has brought about is the fact that applications need to be developed in a much faster time frame than the traditional enterprise applications. And we've seen shifts away from a 6-month, 12-month cycle to something like a 4 to 6 week cycle when mobility applications need to be out there ready to be consumed. Part of this is driven from the consumer market. So in the consumer market, you really have applications that are being released and re-released with updates on a fairly frequent basis. And I think this is now coming back into the enterprise. So as an IT organization, fundamentally, the IT managers and the IT people need to really think about how do we get new applications or updates to the employees in this short cycle between 4 to 6 weeks. At SAP, one of the things that we've been looking at is agile and Scrum-based technologies, Scrum-based methodologies. With this methodology, we're able to iterate through multiple cycles to get new applications, new functionality on the mobile out there. The other thing that's fundamentally changed as a part of these mobile devices and smartphones is the fact that it's no longer a point and click kind of an interface, but it's more of gesture-driven interfaces. And these gesture-driven interfaces require a different behavior and a different thought process on how applications are developed. So you are no longer sitting with the user on a piece of paper and asking him what he needs as functionality, but you're also asking the user to describe how he wants to use the application and what kind of an interface he wants to use. And what's also changed is the fact that with multi-touch gestures that are possible on these devices, you're also looking at new ways that the user can interact with the application.
So how do they learn that? Is that something that they just throw out there through the users and see if it works, or is there a way they can learn some of that in advance?
Well, I think a lot of it is through experience. So I think this is one of the reasons why I would recommend a lot of all companies to get onto the mobility journey as soon as possible, because you learn through experience. And I think every company is different. They're coming from different industries. They have different backgrounds, and this experience helps you to build up a competency in IT to understand and capture these requirements in a better way. I've been talking to a lot of companies in the APJ region. Some of them are from highly critical industries like oil and gas, where different types of mobile devices are used. They're more ruggedized devices as opposed to other kind of companies where you typically can use an iPad or a Samsung Galaxy Tab to go out in the field and do your work. And each of these devices have certain pros and cons, and I think each company has to evaluate what's behind it and what it means for their applications on these devices. So what we see as well is the fact that this experience helps you to build new functionality from the first generation to the second generation. And I think we've used a very community-driven approach where we get direct feedback from the users, and we use this feedback for the next iteration of the application, and this helps a lot. So maybe in a different way, the more you get experience in the organization, you can really draw on the feedback from the ground up in, again, a very social way to get this feedback into the next generation of the application that you want to roll out.
Great, Manik. Thank you very much for sharing with us.